I have spent so much of my time defending women who have abortions against pro-life idiots that frankly nothing they could say or do at this point would shock me anymore. But when I have to make a video defending someone who had an abortion against a supposed women's rights activist and reproductive rights activist, frankly, I'm more than a little disgusted. Now, the woman who wrote this article, this disgusting article I'm going to read to you, is called Mary Ann Sorrentino. If you are familiar with the pro-choice movement, you will know her as a famous reproductive rights activist who was famously excommunicated from the Catholic Church because of her beliefs, which frankly I don't see as that much of a punishment. But anyway, her blog begins as such: abortion as self-promotion. 27-year-old Angie Jackson has decided to use Twitter as a public stage for her private decision to terminate a pregnancy using RU486, the miscarriage-inducing drug legally available in the US for a decade. For those of you who do not know who Angie Jackson is, she's called Angie the Anti-Theist, and she was the woman who live tweeted her abortion and did a lot of YouTube videos about it. We'll get onto why she did these videos a little bit later on and why she live tweeted it a little bit later on. But first of all, the whole reason that this woman is pissed off with Angie is the fact that Angie didn't keep quiet about it, that Angie decided to tweet it and that Angie decided to make YouTube videos about it. She thinks it's a private decision and the woman should just keep it to herself as far as she's concerned, or as she later goes on to say, a close circle of people. But anyway, to the last part of that paragraph I just read to you, a miscarriage-inducing drug legally available in the US for a decade. The way she's phrasing it, it's almost as if because it's been available for a decade, somehow there's no argument surrounding this drug anymore. Like that there's a consensus that this drug is okay. No, lovey. I know plenty of pro-life people who even disagree with RU486. They still think it's evil and women who do it are murderers. Okay? So, just because it's been around for a decade doesn't make it any less controversial. But let's go on. Jackson, who has a 4-year-old son with special needs, says that the difficult pregnancy and outcome made her decide long ago not to have another child. She was committed to aborting future pregnancies that might occur. If this is true and her decision about ending her childbearing is solid and responsible, one has to wonder why she didn't just have tubal ligation. One does not have to wonder why she didn't have a tubal ligation, because the woman's right to choose what happens to her reproductive system isn't just about whether she has the right to have an abortion or not. It means she has the right to choose what contraception she wants to use. If she didn't want to have a tubal ligation and she had an IUD instead, which you clearly do not mention in this blog, as if she didn't use any contraception, she has the right to make that choice, okay? You may not see it as responsible, but guess what? Some people don't see abortion as being responsible, okay? Just because it's your personal opinion, it's not responsible, doesn't mean that everyone has to follow that. Doesn't mean everyone has to agree with you and do what you think is responsible. That would have seemed like a logical step, and the one that would have saved her from the need to go through the discomfort of a forced miscarriage while saving the rest of the universe from the anguish of assisting at such a personal and difficult moment. Save them the anguish of assisting, like anyone forced these people to watch her videos, to follow her Twitter. They were forced to do this. If they suffered anguish from the fact that she talked about it, well then they shouldn't have watched it. They shouldn't have followed it. If they suffered anguish, it was by choice because they chose to follow the story, okay? No one made them do this, alright? Jackson allegedly has about 800 followers on the social website Twitter. In a CNN television interview today, she mentioned a book she'd like to have published. If aborting on Twitter is her idea of a great way to boost future book sales, this is an even greater abuse of reproductive rights than initially thought. Ever heard the phrase, assume makes an ass out of you and me, which is what you've just done? You are assuming that she did this to sell more books. First of all, is this how you think that this went in her head? I know. I'll get an IUD, and then when I have the IUD, I'll get pregnant, and then when I'm 4 weeks weeks pregnant, I'll have abortion and I'll tweet it and I'll make videos on it and it will help me sell so many books. This is exactly the thought that went into her mind when she did this publicly. No. Do you know why she did this? Do you know why she came out and made these videos and did these tweets? It was because there's still a stigma associated with women who do this. There is still a stigma surrounding women who have abortions, okay? Things haven't progressed that much. Sure, we have the right to do it. Does that mean that people aren't fighting to remove our rights? No, did this because she's showing women there's nothing to be scared of. There is nothing to be afraid. You are not murderers. You are not evil. There is nothing wrong with having an abortion and controlling your own reproductive system. Those of us who came from generations where women had no legal abortion choices understand how precious the right to choose is, and those who didn't grow up in that era don't understand how precious the right to choose is. Nowadays, we don't have to face abortion clinics being bombed. We don't have to face abortionists being murdered. We don't have to face people protesting outside of clinics. Women can come out and say, with no shame attached, that they've had an abortion, okay? Everything's peachy and fine. Everything's moved so much forward back from when you were campaigning for women to have reproductive rights. Things have changed so much. Yes, fucking right. We put flowers on women's graves, took to the streets, marched, got arrested, lobbied, volunteered overtime, held fundraisers, took abuse from opponents, shouldered death threats, and in my case got thrown out of the churches of our birth so that our daughters and others could have reproductive choices. You're not greater than her because of this. You are exactly the same, okay? Sure, she isn't as loud and she doesn't do all the things like you've done, but she still came out and she's still shown support for the movement. Okay, she's still showing support for the pro-choice movement. Obviously, her influence isn't as great as yours. Does that mean her influence is any less worthy? No. But the right we were fighting so hard for, which we were granted only a short 37 years ago, was based on what Supreme Court called privacy. Yes, because women have the right to do it as long as they shut the hell up about it, right? We wanted women to be able to make personal decisions about their pregnancies in the privacy of their most intimate circle, typically by the women with her partners, family, closest friends, physician, and or religious advisors should she choose. If not, she should decide as a panel of one and discuss it with no one. Is it only okay for her to have an abortion if she shuts the hell up about it and doesn't talk about it to other people? Okay, she has just as much right to come out and talk about it and to show other people that there's no shame surrounding abortion as you have to make a private decision and not share with other people. And by the way, the close family of friends you refer to might still not accept that this is a right for her to have. The family, the friends, the GP, okay, the religious leaders, not all of them agree that this is good too, okay? So what she's doing is showing these people that there's nothing wrong with it, that there's no stigma attached to it, there's no shame, yet you are having a go at her for doing this, that this is something bad, that she shouldn't have done this. Fuck you. Andrew Jackson has the right to take RU486 and then write about her cramps, her bleeding, and the eventual expelling of the products of conception on the internet. Oh, I'm sorry, again, was her abortion not gruesome enough for you? But many of us who have spent our lives on the front lines of the abortion debate also have the right to hate the fact that she chooses to do this. And I have the right to hate you for being a sanctimonious old bint who somehow thinks your contribution means no one else should be able to make one if it doesn't agree to your strict standards of what we should and should not be doing. At worst, it's self-serving, exhibitionist and selfish. At best, it has bad judgment written all over it. And oh my god, how much did that last sentence reek of pro-life rhetoric. Self-serving, exhibitionist and selfish because she decided to choose to share her experience with other women, to show other women what she went through and how it was okay to do this. She is self-serving and an exhibitionist. No thank you, okay? You can piss off. The fact that I have to make this video defending this woman against the likes of a pro-choice women's rights activist is disgusting.